Hey Outlaws, so today we are trying something new. I like giving my progress videos, I like showing what I'm doing, but I feel like sometimes you guys need a little bit more stimulation, and I need more mental stimulation, you know? I love training giant swords. This is the official giant sword channel. I'd like to get more giant swords down the road, and we have some cool stuff coming. But I want to start covering more topics within this within this channel that still applies to the channel. I've done some historical sword stuff. I'm going to do more of that. I've kind of leaned to other historical things too, made some shorts, but I really wanted to cover this because yeah, it's historical kind of, but it also deals with giantness, giant wolves, giant mammoths, giant all sorts of crazy stuff. I feel like it fits the channel. Also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my most recent training videos, either here or there, I don't know which one yet, that will help you kind of follow along with me, but also just like, wow, he's advancing, he's getting better, but I'm also engaged with what he's talking about too, because I like to mix everything up and make it more interesting for all of you. Okay, so what we're talking about today is dire wolves. Were they actually brought back to life? Okay, that's what we're gonna. Well, sorry, were they actually brought back to life, or were they actually cloned, to be the proper term? We're also gonna talk a little bit about the company that's actually doing all the work trying to bring them back, including this woolly maps you see. We're gonna talk a little bit about their pre-existing projects, including the little woolly mouse that you see right here. And then we're going to see exactly where they're going, what's their big plans, and a little bit more in-depth information about the company, which, funny enough, is called Colossal Biosciences. So let's start. Now, don't worry, Outlaws. I got you covered.
I've been training for this day when the scientists will bring back all the giant creatures and create genetic freaks and evil things that'll come and try to take over and kill off humanity, and I'll swing away and kill them with my giant sword, brother.
Yeah, guns and missiles and tanks all disappeared, of course. But anyways, good fun. All right, I got you guys protected. You're good. You're good. All right, so we all know Game of Thrones. For good or bad, mostly bad towards the end. And George R. R. Martin will never finish his thing. It is what it is. Go find a great fan fiction writer and read whatever they wrote, because that's probably about as close as you're going to get. Anyways, so dire wolves, which I'm also hearing that George R. R. Martin actually helped fund part of this research. What they are is very, very large wolves, okay? There are specifically, I remember hearing the research, about 25-30% larger than gray wolves. Now, did they actually take dire wolf DNA and clone it? Not quite. So, on Monday, Colossal Biosciences, a Dallas, Texas-based biotechnology company, announced that it brought the species back with the birth of 2 pups last October and a 3rd this past January. The company previously announced the development of a woolly mouse, which is this little bugger right here, or a mouse whose genome was edited to give it brown, shaggy fur like that of the woolly mammoth. Now, that kind of gives it away right there. So, what we're actually seeing here is not a clone of an extinct species, taken directly from DNA. I don't think we have that technology, and I don't think that's... I really don't think DNA is going to last like that. Otherwise, we would have had like woolly mammoths and stuff. It's editing. So, predominantly what they've done is they studied the genetic traits of extinct animals, specifically dire wolves, woolly mammoths, and then they took existing creatures, the gray wolf and the little gray, and then the woolly mouse, the little mouse guy here, and they edited their genetic structure to have them take on the traits of those specific animals. So, for these wolves here, dire wolves, they're really gray wolves, have been genetically enhanced. So the genetically enhanced get bigger, have larger skulls, bigger jaws, get big and bulky, and be able to handle the cold much more like their now extinct ancestor dire wolves did back in the day. Now, everyone's always saying like, oh, they died because they're too big, or they died because of this, blah, blah, blah. The reason why a lot of these creatures died is because we wiped them out. Humans came along and we wiped them out. They were a threat to us, or they were food for us, and we changed the landscape completely. I mean, let's be honest. There's giant saber-toothed tigers, dire wolves running around still. A lot of you guys be getting eaten. your little chihuahuas be like, oh, food for these. They probably wouldn't go for the chihuahuas. Be like a rat to them. They would just go after the humans. Anyways, I digress. So, what they're saying is that the dire wolves, now, what are they trying to make it after? Dire wolves were around the largest extinct carnivore that lived throughout what our today is North and South America during the Pleistocene. I'm assuming the Ice Age. So basically about 250,000 to 10,000 years ago. And it first described in the 1850s. They've been found, fossils been found all over the Americas. Good times. And that's what they pulled out to study it. This study, they pulled out a skull and then also a tooth as well. Here it is. So scientists were able to extract and sequence DNA from a 13,000-year-old tooth and a 72,000-year-old skull that yielded more complete genomic data. So they're able to pull that information out. And kind of like what this person says right here is this is a designer dog. This is a genetically modified gray wolf. Basically super, super enhanced, guys. Like that's like kind of my craziness here. So basically they took the genetic information and then genetically altered the existing gray wolves. Same thing with, oops, let me go over here. This little mouse right here. This is still more or less a mouse. But what they did was they retrieved and sequenced ancient mammoth DNA from preserved skin, bone, and hair to learn which genes controlled traits such as coat color and cold tolerance. And then they altered the corresponding genes in lab mice and made other alterations in the rodent's genome. Basically, they made this little mouse here more hairy, and they also adjusted his DNA to store fat in a certain way, similar to that the mammoths did. Now, some of what the scientists, those are opposing. Now, I get it. Look, people are going to hate. People are haters. Trust me, I've got plenty of haters. But also, when you're doing something like this and really driving for like new technology or like expanding the technology that already exists, you're going to get a lot of haters. What basically they're trying to say, they're opposing science side is that they're just saying that you're trying to bring back animals that became extinct. They became extinct for a reason. There's no purpose to bring them back. The environment that they existed back then doesn't exist now, which is more true. I mean, people want to talk about the climate all the time. It's more or less the same. And then we're messing around with the climate ourselves. People, I won't get into that. But do we really need to bring back Ice Age animals? Kicks and fun? I don't know. Now, who is Colossal Biosciences? We now know what they're doing. I kind of beat to death. Yes, they're altering DNA of existing animals to match traits of ancient animals. Okay, well, who are they? So here's their web page. They have a very impressive web page. They got little videos right here. I do find it's kind of funny how it's named Colossal. They do have a large area. I'll go into the area here soon a bit in this last article. I think it's about 2,000 acres that these wolves are hanging out in, and probably other things are hanging out there too. Their big push is that they want to prevent the extinction of animals, and they want to de-extinct or unextinct past animals, but that's not entirely true. I personally believe that the direwolf thing and the mouse deal is just meant to create shock and awe, get attention, and then get more funding. I honestly do. It's not like what they're doing is bad. We can talk about the ethics of it, like bringing back things that no longer exist, messing with the genetic code of existing animals, but we've already been doing that. Now, should we keep doing it? I don't think so. It's kind of with AI and others and automation. It's like it's unfortunately it's being pushed upon us by people that really don't care either which way. I do think it's going to cause some issues in society, but we won't get too far into that today. All right, now talk a little bit about them. They got the fancy thing. They've got, they want to de-extinct animals. Where are they going? What's in their future? Okay, so they look at themselves as a $10 billion+ valuation company. Now, that's a lot. They also happen, I guess, to control a 2,000-acre preserve. That is a secret location. Now, is it really that secret? Probably not. In the digital age, the satellites, AI tracking, GPS tracking on phones, and all sorts of stuff, probably not that secretive. But they want to actually show them these very, very large baby wolves. These little buggers right here. And then, supposedly, they had 2 6-month-old males named Remus and Romulus, which weighed freaking 80 pounds each. 80 pounds? That's that's a big. Those are big boys. Basically, they have, and they say right here, they look to an experienced eye like very big wild dogs with slightly larger skulls and elongated muzzle. I think there is, there's one right here, but still kind of a small baby, and that's the CEO or co-founder right there. It is pretty insane that they're doing this. It kind of reminds me of a recent report where China's also going out and is creating a superhuman, basically like genetically altering human beings. Um, it's wild. We are officially way past entering in the science fiction phase. We are the science fiction. It's like science fiction writers are going to be going out of business here pretty soon. Hell, I'm writing my book, Machine, and some of this stuff right here, I'm just like, that's wild. We're so far ahead of ourselves. It's going to be some crazy times. Tell me what you think, Outlaws. Did you guys like it? Hope you guys like the training I put here as well. Like more of it, comment down below. Like, and if you're new here, subscribe. Come along with the journey. More fun's coming away. All right. See you next time.